Hello everyone, good evening to all of you. Hopefully your Monday is going really well. Happy start of the week to everyone here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Bread Report and Pokemon Truth Media. Let's break down some of the interesting news and happenings in the Pokemon circle over the past few days, over the weekend as well as today. So, first off, we have some new information for a new upcoming event in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There's a special distribution of our first shiny Pokemon that is coming as a serial code event for one of the VGC Pokemon that has been on the team of one of the players. So, Paul Chua's Shiny Arcanine, which he used to claim victory at the EUIC, will be available through a serial code. This Arcanine is a Shiny Arcanine, so it's going to be yellow-colored Arcanine rather than the standard orange one. It will be having the moveset Flare Blitz, Will-O-Wisp, Protect, and Extreme Speed. It will also be Terra Grass, so it's not going to be Terra Fire or anything like that. I know some people run Terra Water Arcanine, but this one's going to be a Terra Grass one. It's going to be holding safety goggles, and since it is a VGC Pokemon, it's going to have its ability Intimidate instead of Justified. This will be starting from June 30th to July 3rd, and there will also be a Pokemon card giveaway for the TCG Live. It's going to be featuring the Iono Ultra Rare card, which in physical form is one of the chase cards for the Paldea Evolved set, which was just released this past Friday. That will also be given by a code during the time of the Arcanine event. So for the TCG Live, you get the Iono card, which is one of the in-person physical Paldea Evolved chase cards that are currently out there. And then in the Scarlet and Violet game, you'll get the Shiny Arcanine if you stay tuned for the code. Alright, next, also talking about the Pokemon TCG, we have this new series from the Pokemon Company. It's going to be a special kind of a reality type series where we're going to be looking at different aspects of the Pokemon TCG in relation to the Pokemon community. So it's kind of like what we're doing, but they're going to be reaching out to more people. Our first couple of episodes are going to be heading here June 13th, tomorrow, and June 14th, as well as the 15th. They're going to be featuring stories around the idea, how do you play the TCG? Are you a collector? Are you someone who goes into the actual tournaments and plays decks? Or are you an investor? Probably they're not going to cover the investor part, because I don't think Logan Paul is going to be on there, or any of those people. But they're going to be covering the collecting side, the community side, and it looks like the competitive side with the actual TCG game. So this is a very interesting series. Very excited to see all these different stories from the TCG and how they played out through different aspects in the community. This is going to be really fun to watch. So, the first couple of episodes in this three-part series are going to be featuring a teacher, a longtime player of Pokemon, so it looks like that's going to be more of the competitive side, and then a family who uses the TCG, according to Cerebi, to connect with one another, which is a very wonderful message. And also in the TCG, we mentioned Paldea Evolved earlier, so Friday was the release for Paldea Evolved in the US and Canada and elsewhere in the English department there. And ever since then, people have been pulling the Iono card. Actually, I was very surprised to actually hear that someone in the local area has pulled not one Iono, but both of them, the Alt Art Iono and then the Ultra Rare one, so congratulations to them. That was from a booster box, I believe, if I remember their story, but regardless, over the weekend, people have been trying to trade in some of the cards early, such as, of course, the secret illustration rares and some of the secret arts and ultra rares and whatnot, to some degree of success. Now, I say that because the trainer gallery or the illustration rares in the set, you know, the regular ones that are like the Meryl, the Raichu, the Paldean starters, any of those ones, those are kind of staying at around $5 a piece. You know, they're very standard. You shouldn't be paying any thing more than $10 for one of those trainer gallery cards. Same here. If there's just a standard one, if you need that Raichu, if you need that Paldea Taros one, you shouldn't be paying more than $10 for it. However, over the weekend, with the chase cards such as the Masquerada alt art for the EX and the Magikarp, as well as the Tyranitar, that was one of the larger culprits, we saw these giant price hikes. There is that sense of FOMO, or fear of missing out, which would drive people to buy these off of TCGPlayer and elsewhere for these prices, but usually the trend is on release day the prices will drop, and then they'll either continue to drop or they stabilize at that spot. However, in the instance of the Magikarp alt art, the one where it looks like Magikarp is jumping and there's a giant waterfall and giant waves and all this stuff, we saw a surprising price increase. Now, a lot of people, especially on Twitter, are thinking to themselves, this looks like market manipulation, because you don't go from a $15 card on the first couple of days of release to this morning where the card was worth about $55 on the market price on TCGPlayer. It's a very interesting increase in price. Ones that did tank a bit would be the Wochen, so the snail Pokemon, the new snail Pokemon that's a legendary. That alt art tanked by about $2 or $3. It used to be $20, now it's only $15.50 as of making this video Monday night. And some of them actually increased. The Raichu illustration rare, which I was talking about earlier, we actually pulled one. This card was about, was it about $10? So standard price, you shouldn't be paying anything over $10. But this morning, and I also checked this evening as well, Monday night, it went up to like $21 on market price on TCGPlayer. Very interesting that there is this manipulation, supposed manipulation. I don't want to jump to any conclusions. I don't want to put the cart before the mudstale here, but people like Pokemon Deals community on Twitter, very reputable source who's been watching all these trends and deals in the TCG for a while and keeping up to date on all the product releases, they've been speculating that there might be some alleged market manipulation to the Magikarp and to some of these other alt cards, which is very interesting to see. There's also the Tyranitar. Now let's talk about the Let's talk about the Tyranitar card now. So this is one of the alt arts. It's just a Tyranitar standing very stoic, and it's just kind of a plain kind of canyon-like background. It's very interesting. The card really screams Tyranitar. You have it standing there all stoic and powerful like. So that's the artwork. I'm sure you could pull up a picture of it, but anywho, so this card increased from this finding. Let me just pull up the information I have. Currently, this is just as of now, so making this video, we had an interesting peak in price for it, but now it looks like it's not letting me get it. However, the Tyranitar, it was at around $20 past few days over the weekend, but now if you go and check on TCGPlayer, it's about $46 market price. So another card, it looks like it's being affected by the alleged, once again, alleged manipulation that the FOMO as well as the general, we're missing out, let's buy this card quickly, a bunch of it, and then we'll try and hold on to it, that kind of stuff. That's usually seen when a set just first releases. This is what Pokemon Deals community on Twitter was kind of speculating. This might be happening with the Tyranitar as well as the Masquerada, but the Masquerada jumped only like maybe $1 or $2 from it starting at $20. The Magikarp, according to this price shift chart from Eater26 on Instagram, again in alignment with the Pokemon Deals community findings on Twitter, the Tyranitar jumped, according to their chart, 100.86% from about $20 to about 42, so it's actually lower this time. It must have changed since we've looked at it on TCGPlayer, which is interesting. That is a huge increase. That's a 100% increase, so basically doubled in price from that $20 that it started at. The Magikarp went up a whopping, according to the chart again, went up a whopping 235.20% from a starting $15 to $17 to now it being around 60. So it also changed since we've made this video. Very interesting. So it's just climbing right now, but people are also giving the suggestion, just hold off if you're buying singles to save money. That is great, because I don't think anyone should shell out $6 or $7 for a single booster pack or anything like that. They're charging $10 or $20 over MSRP. I don't think it's the best decision to go and buy it at that price, of course, because everything needs to be lower, and it should be kept lower as it was, because that was the tried and true method. We don't need to raise it by $20 and then call it a discount when you lower it to the actual MSRP. It doesn't make any sense. But if you're just going to plan on completing the set or getting the cards you want by buying singles, this saves you money, this might save you time, but you need to have patience and wait just a bit. We've seen this with many sets before. The method is tried and true, and of course there are outliers, you know, the Moonbryon, the other alt arts that were big, the Giratina, that one, and it looks like this Magikarp might still dip, but, you know, just give it some time, give it patience. Patience rewards you. So please, I urge everyone to save some money out there and just pick up these singles, give it a little bit. Don't worry, they'll be there for you. I know they'll be there for you. Alrighty, I think that's going to cover everything in Paldea Evolved. We had a ton of information on that. We actually go to the Pokemon Deals community Twitter right now for their actual statement on everything. Paldea Evolved Market may be rising, they write with a question mark. These two illustration rare cards, the Magikarp and the Tyranitar, have been reportedly more difficult to pull, touting a 1 in 500 plus pack rarity. Remember, these are still small sizes. Everyone's opening thousands of packs and stuff and reporting it in. It doesn't mean if it was a 1 out of 3, it doesn't mean every 3 packs you get one of them. That's not how these ratios work. This is all estimated. As a result, the prices have soared, and they also suspect there might be some market manipulation, allegedly. As you can see here in this bottom tweet, there may have been some rumors that there may have been a market buyout of some kind, where people are purchasing the cards for X amount and releasing them at a higher price point. When single prices fluctuate like this, it's simply better to just wait and let it stabilize. That is their main point here. Let it stabilize. Don't FOMO and try to time the market, because at the end of the day, these two cards aren't worth being the investment vehicles. Collect them because they're cool cards. Again, the art is wonderful on these cards. Collect for the art, not because it's a money-making thing. Pokemon isn't about making money. It's about collecting your favorite Pokemon, trying out new Pokemon, building a community. It's never about the cash in the end. In the end, it's not. It's a hobby. It's not something that you need to be too serious about. Collect them because they're cool cards and fun to have in your collection, as this is actually one of the first Magikarp cards in a while that's getting this spotlight. So if you're a fan of Magikarp, so I suggest, you know, buying the card, cherishing it, but you need to have patience again. You have to have patience, young Padawan. Alright, so let's stop about the TCG right now. I think that's going to cover everything. We'll just keep an eye on these prices and whatnot if anything changes, but let's just leave it at that. Let's move on to something else. Let's move on to Pokemon Unite. So the Pokemon Unite season ended a few days ago, so that means a new season is starting, it looks like evolutions are going to dominate, and I think that's all I'm going to say there. There's a whole big fight on Reddit about the evolutions are bad. No, I like them because they're cute and all this stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. Just going to say it's there. The evolutions are probably going to be dominating in this next season as well, unless they, of course, do some balancing changes. There was a new lotto system people don't like because, according to them, it was difficult to get the prices, and when it reloads or re-rolls for the next day, you had a gauge where it's like 3 out of 40, but you needed to wait 8 or 12 hours to get a free pass or whatever. It's like a skee ball machine, I guess. It was like, if you go into Pokemon Unite, when I play it again, I'll show it to you. It's like a skee ball machine. It's like daily, or it's like 8 hours and 12 hours you get to throw a Pokeball or something like that, and it will land at one of these quadrants. The rewards on there aren't very game breaking. It's not like it's giving you a Unite license for free or anything like that. But it's going to be strange because in that time limit, it's kind of, I don't know the word for it, but it's extremely difficult logically to get one of the prizes because of all the reroll times and all that. So hopefully they all hear the community and they might make some changes. I do not know, but if people just keep respectfully voicing their concerns, maybe we will get some change, and usually change is good. Alrighty, I think that covers all the Pokemon related stuff happening over the past few days and right now on Monday. So I want to say thank you again to everyone for watching. Please do something nice for someone. Please take care of yourself and each other, and have a good evening. Thank you so much, and good night. I'll see you all soon.